What's up, folks? Stu Myrick, ready for one final Sports Guys Talking Wrestling for 2022. Hope you are having a good start of the week. Hope you had a good weekend. Hope that all the preparations are in place for the holidays, Christmas, Happy Hanukkah to those who celebrate, Happy Kwanzaa to those who celebrate. Justin Smashmans is on his way. Let's see. Quick programming note. I did say this is our last show for the year. And we don't have a radio show tomorrow night. Texas men's basketball will be on the air against Louisiana. So, no Sports Guys Talking Wrestling on the Horn tomorrow night. No Fight Night on the Horn tomorrow night. In fact, I saw Eddie Cross today. So, our last stream, we are taking next week off to enjoy the holiday, coming off the Christmas holiday, going into the New Year's Day. So we're going to take next week off. So we will be back on YouTube and Twitch on January 3rd and back on the air on the Horn on January 4th. So just so you know, so that keep your programming situated. As always, well, most times, NXT is on the television, and we have Toxic Attraction without Mandy Rose. So Gigi Dolan, JC Jane coming out. Interesting. It'll be interesting. I guess they're going to keep the name. For those of you who have not heard, when we were recording last week, Roxanne Perez decided to challenge Mandy Rose on NXT last week for the NXT Women's Championship. Roxanne Perez ended up beating Mandy Rose. She is your new NXT Women's Champion. The woman formerly known as Roxy, former Ring of Honor Women's World Champion. So, needless to say, a little bit of a surprise. Well, it did come out, I think later that night, in fact, that Mandy Rose has, in fact, been released by WWE. And it had to do with content that she was putting on. It's a platform. It's kind of like OnlyFans, but it's not OnlyFans. It's Fan Time or something like that. And it's apparently a bit adult oriented, shall we say? Well, WWE got wind of this, and Mandy Rose didn't want to take it down, so they have decided to part ways. And in fact, I saw something today that said Mandy Rose is actually making more money from the Fan Time website, or whatever you call it, than she was from WWE. So, hey, all the best to her. So, but because of that, they had to make the pivot last week to have her drop the title. Because when Deadline happened, we had Roxanne Perez and Grayson Waller win. They won the Iron Survivor challenges, so they were going to be the contenders for the NXT titles. You figured it was okay. It's the next two to feed, to the champions. And in the case of Braun Breaker, that still feels that way. But, and I told Justin this, when, they they worked the story where Roxanne Perez gets attacked, and she decides right then and there, I want my title match tonight, and Mandy Rose agreed to it. Usually, more often than not, when they do something like that and it is completely out of left field, it usually means there's probably going to be a title change. And sure enough, it happened. So congratulations to Roxanne Perez. As you might imagine, they in fact WWE shared this on their YouTube channel after they went off the air. Roxanne's mentor, her teacher from reality wrestling, the WWE Hall of Famer, Booker T, went over there and gave her a big old hug, congratulated her, obviously, and everything. You got to imagine he was as proud as could be for, one of his graduates reaching that height. So, in fact, I saw on Instagram just a little while ago, they showed the video of her putting her side plates on the championship belt. So, anyway, really cool, and thrilled that Roxanne Perez is the champion. Hopefully, she will have a good run with the championship. Imagine that's going to be. I would imagine Cora Jade may get a shot pretty soon, but there'll be challengers lined up. So, anyway, now we got Briggs and Jensen, and I forget her name, and I think that's Kiana James. And apparently Jensen has a crush on Kiana or Kiana's assistant or something like that. Fallon Henry, that's the other girl. That's the girl that's with Briggs and Jensen. Her daddy owns the bar or something like that. Anyway, so anyway, tonight's just going to be kind of what's happened last week in WWE and in AEW. We'll also talk New Japan. We have the full card for Wrestle Kingdom coming up on January 4 in Tokyo, at Tokyo Dome. And just in case you're interested in tuning in to NJPW World, card will start at 1:30 a.m. on the East Coast, 12:30 a.m. in Central. So here. And Justin is 7:50. No worries. So, text him real quick. Oops. Anyway, so there's that. I just read an interesting article from our good friend Justin Barrasso from Sports Illustrated. So we told you last week that Wall Street Journal had published a new report on Vince McMahon with new allegations against him. And in the article, it stated that Vince is, in fact, wanting to make a comeback. He wants to come back to WWE. He feels he got bad advice about retiring, resigning, whatever you want to call it, and he wants his baby back. Needless to say, that news was initially met with negativity. Stock prices dropped. Well, then so Justin Barrasso in Sports Illustrated wrote an article about the feasibility of Vince McMahon returning to WWE. And, and to boil it down, in pretty much every conceivable way, that would be a really bad idea. not only from the standpoint of creative, getting set back, stock prices would fall, probably crater at this point. Not to mention, they're getting close to negotiating a new TV deal with Fox and NBC Universal. That might get affected negatively by a returning Vince McMahon. Ratings would definitely tumble. In like I said, in pretty much every factor, Vince McMahon trying to come back to run WWE would be a bad idea. And and it was a fine article, but I don't, it wasn't disclosing anything that most people that have followed this didn't already figure out. So we shall see. He is the majority stockholder for WWE, but it's not as simple as he can just vote himself back in. So now we have Carter and Chance, I guess, defending the NXT Women's Tag Titles against Ivy Nile and Tatum Paisley. So, let's see. As I mentioned, getting ready for Christmas. Getting ready for a cold, really cold Christmas here in Austin. There's this front that is making its way, and it's supposed to hit here on Thursday, and it's supposed to drop temperatures. They're talking about wind chill warnings, hard freeze warnings, talking about wind chills in single digits here in Austin. You could see negative wind chills up in the Panhandle, up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. It's going to be bitter cold. Luckily, unlike the last time we had bitter cold temperatures in February of 2021, this time there's no precip. Nothing's supposed to fall from the sky. So, last time we had a lot fall from the sky. This time, no. It's just going to be cold. And it's going to be cold for a couple of days, but then it'll go back up a little bit. So, we'll see. But it is going to be a cold couple days. Let's see what else. We'll go through what's happened. WWE, SmackDown, Raw. You wonder, based on what we have seen on SmackDown and what is set for not only this week, which this week SmackDown is taped, but on December 30th with John Cena coming back, you wonder if we're going to start to see the wheels go in motion for the eventual bloodline turning on Sami Zayn and all that good stuff. So, we'll see. It'll be interesting. Excuse me. I'm gonna pull up my. There we go. All right, now we're. Also had at least a development with the whole Bray Wyatt. We have now seen Uncle Howdy show up at the same time. I mean, it's so Bray Wyatt was getting beat up in the ring by LA Knight, and all of a sudden there's Uncle Howdy coming out of the entranceway. So obviously it was somebody else donning the Uncle Howdy mask. 7 center. Okay, so I need to write that down. It's a 7 o'clock tip for Longhorns and the Raging Cajuns. There we go. So yeah, we saw that. So it feels like they're doing a little bit of a slow burn with the whole Bray Wyatt thing, which I've never been that big of a fan of him. Still not really. It's intriguing, I guess, a bit. And then you cross it over to Raw with Alexa Bliss, and you had the Bray Wyatt symbol flash on the Titantron, and all of a sudden Alexa Bliss tries to put the Sister Abigail on Bianca Belair, and then Monday night they have this sit down conversation, and Alexa's talking about her history with Bray, and I can win and all this, and they have a cordial whatever, and then the Bray Wyatt symbol flashes again, and Alexa ends up smashing this vase on Bianca's head. So we'll see. We did have a return on Raw. Bronson Reed, after his stint as Jonah in New Japan. And apparently it was he was nearing the end of his deal with New Japan. New Japan made an offer, WWE made an offer, and he chose WWE. So we'll see how that goes. As of right now, he's helping The Miz. Let's hope he gets something a little more than that. We saw some good stuff from him in New Japan. So let's see what else. AEW still making its way through Texas. They are in San Antonio tomorrow night with Holiday Bash. We will see Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee in a face-to-face meeting, and I just saw Rick Ross is supposed to moderate that. So that should be interesting with what transpired at Final Battle and everything. We shall see. Plus, some Texas talents got some shine. Exodus Prime, who we've seen and inspired quite a bit, of course, big up in the DFW area with DFW Pro and Metroplex Wrestling and such. He faced Wardlow on AEW, was it Rampage? On Rampage, yes. And he did. Wardlow hit the Powerbomb Symphony on him. One of the Powerbombs, Exodus Prime ends up on top of his head for a moment. It was pretty funny, but good on Exodus Prime. So, let's see what else. As I said, we have the full card for New Japan's Wrestle Kingdom 17. I think the big story right now is the possibility of the former Sasha Banks, Mercedes Varnado, Mercedes Moné, whatever you want to call her, at least making an appearance. There is a women's match on the New Japan, on the Wrestle Kingdom card, with Kairi defending the IWGP Women's Championship against Tam Nakano. So could we see Sasha come out and challenge the winner? We'll see. See what happens. So think we're, well, I don't know. Chance and Carter keep the titles. So Ivy now had Katana Chance in some sort of like a submission hold. And Chance was able to use the ropes to flip herself over to where she ends up pinning Ivy Nile. So Chance and Carter still the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. Oh, by the way, we're going to see the New Day defend the NXT Tag Team titles against Briggs and Jensen tonight. So yeah. Something else that happened last night. It started out with the Bloodline causing chaos, beating up people backstage, including Mustafa Ali and such. And we got to Street Profits versus Finn Balor and Damian Priest from the Bloodline, or from Judgment Day. And Akira Tozawa came out with the Street Profits. Street Profits get the win. And Rhea Ripley ends up wanting to challenge Akira Tozawa. And they go with the match. It was a sanctioned official intergender match. Now, it was an intergender match as far as WWE would go. I mean, we've seen intergender matches on the indie scene. Even in like Impact Wrestling, you had when Tessa Blanchard was the world champion. Well, she beat Sami Callihan for the world title, and so we've seen those. It was interesting because Tozawa, they were very careful not to have Tozawa hit Rhea. No punches. In fact, Tozawa got very little offense at all. It was a few like reversals, and he did a hurricanrana on her. But I don't know. It was, and I don't know how I feel about it. I'm okay with intergender wrestling to an extent. But, like I said, because Tozawa couldn't do a lot of things that you would normally see in a match, especially if he was wrestling a man, it was kind of like, okay, so basically you had Rhea Ripley, you had Tozawa in a handicap match, basically. Because Tozawa was limited in what he could do, but Rhea Ripley was not limited in what she could do. So, yeah, it was just weird. We'll talk about that on the show. This will be a podcast recording. As I said, no on-air show, no show on the Horn tomorrow night because of Texas Longhorn men's basketball. And like I said, we're taking next week off. So we won't have another radio show on the Horn until January 4th. So it's amazing. Some of these commercials, the nuzzle, some sort of pillow. I don't know. As I await the arrival of Justin Smash Simmons, I did see something Impact Wrestling, and I may try to get Mickey James on. Impact Wrestling has Hard to Kill. Their Hard to Kill pay-per-view coming up. I think it's January 13th in Atlanta. So I may, there he is, Let me see if I can get Mickey James on. So, and in from the frigid. I was just vamping until you got here. So, you know.
What's going on, Stu?
Not a man.
You got me something last week. I don't know. Did you give this to me on air? I can't remember.
I don't know. Here. Oh, let's at least have the.
But you got me something last week, so I can't let you go away empty-handed. It's Christmas.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know if I got you this before. So
Hold on.
if I did, my apologies. But I guess they say it is that the
There
heart
we go.
counts.
Oh, thank you.
Here you go.
I got a stocking.
Yeah, I was like, is there coal in there? Who knows? But no, Stu got me a really cool ornament last week. And
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
I don't know, man. It was just like you like 80s, every now and then.
It was a great movie back in 80.
And who doesn't need pairs of socks?
2?
Yeah.
Good God, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, but the socks have that.
Socks. Oh, and I got rock socks.
No.
Rock socks.
Yeah, but our boy.
Just W. Oh,
No, but
Attitude Era socks.
No, but our boy's on there. Look on the inside. I never see stuff with him on it. So when I saw it,
it's Dustin.
yeah, I never see stuff with
Cool.
gold dust on it. So I was like, oh man, well if you never wear them, at least you got the stuff with him on it. That's really
Thank
cool.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, here you go. There's Gold Dust.
Yeah.
My good
So
friend.
I was like, I never see stuff
The
with
natural.
him with gold dust on it.
Thank you. That's very nice.
Nah, man, thank you. I was like, I'm sorry, I should have brought it back with me, but it was a really
No
cool
worries.
ornament.
No
Yeah.
worries. How's things?
Got new shoes.
Got new shoes. Nice shoes.
Yeah. The color's nice.
Okay.
So
Cool.
excited about that. Besides that, just lots of work. Trying not to get sick so I can go home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now they're doing the interview with Booker T and the new NXT Women's Champion,
I don't know how I feel about that now.
his student. What do you mean you don't know? It's great.
Not by the way it happened.
Oh, well, that's kind of interesting.
Like I was
That was
joking with
kinda-
Eddie Cross. I was like, Eddie, did you get her fired by looking for those photos? And he's all like, what are you talking about?
Actually, if you believe the talk around the campfire, it was Matt Bloom that found the photos and alerted WWE.
They were everywhere. It's not like they were hard to
They
find.
just showed a shot of her training at Reality Wrestling. I recognize the training room where the rings are.
I wasn't even looking for them, and they come across like my timeline.
Yeah.
So I was just like, it wasn't like any great secret that they weren't out there already.
Well, and apparently there's a report saying she's making more money from that than she was from WWE.
They said she made $500,000 since she got fired
Hey,
off of not of OnlyFans, but some other fan-friendly
guess,
website.
I guess
But
more
but
power
like
to her.
No, definitely. My question is just like, how long does that last? Like does the appeal lose its luster because she's no longer on WWE television? It's like there's a lot of attractive women out there.
I don't know. That's the thing. Yeah, that's good. That's an interesting question.
And see, I'm not the type of person that spends money to, get provocative photos
me neither.
of my wrestling fandom
Yeah.
people. So, and I get it. There's a certain segment, and I'm not judging that.
There are those that do, but
that's cool.
Whatever.
But I don't. So I'm just curious. It's like, does that take away from you wanting to, pay for what you were paying before?
Maybe if it does run out, that's when she comes back to wrestling. If not for WWE, she goes somewhere else.
I mean, it's just kind of sad because it is kind of like a waste of the whole toxic attraction storyline that built up for like an entire year.
Well,
you
and
figured that they
that's-
were set to debut on SmackDown or something, right?
Well, they've been saying that for a few months, and it hadn't happened yet. And in fact, they just had Dolan and Jane in a triple threat tag match on NXT
But I would have felt like even if if she dropped the title, then that's what was going to happen. So they were going to go to SmackDown. But then the news broke after that.
Yeah.
After we were done with the show.
Well,
always when we're done with this show.
Yeah. So yeah.
Oh, that's right. I keep on forgetting he's a 2-time Hall of Famer.
Yes. Singles and one-half Harlem Heat with his brother, Stevie Ray.
So what, like Flair's going to be like the first 3-time Hall of Famer? If they do Evolution in? Yeah, because it would be him in Triple H. Never mind. Because Triple H is already part of DX, so he's in there because of DX.
Yeah.
He'll be in there because of himself, and then he'll be in there with Evolution.
Yeah, which...
Because Evolution's going in.
I mean, Hall of Famer to Hall of Famer. It's silly saying 2-timer, 3-timer, whatever.
Okay, so...
I mean, Mike Ditka could be a 2-time Pro Football Hall of Famer because he's a Hall of Famer as a coach and could be a Hall of Fame as a player.
Well, I guess that is true. I guess it is kind of silly. I never really thought of it that way.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, I guess if you're already in the Hall of Fame, you were already great.
Yeah, you're in the Hall of Fame. You're in the Hall of Fame. So.
But what does that do for those guys that got in? That are okay. So you're just talking about like the individual accolades, right? Because that wouldn't count for like somebody. And no offense, but like to X-Pac because he came in because of DX, not because he's going to go.
Well, he's in because of DX and the NWO.
So
but he was never in but he never got inducted as an individual.
Yeah, so it just kind of makes me wonder. I mean, you would think he is a Hall of Famer, right?
I would, sure.
Right. So I mean, like, if to be part of both,
he was one of the pioneers of the cruiserweight division.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of like, okay, maybe he's a bad example. I'm trying to think of a guy that got in that might not have gotten in otherwise unless they were part of a team.
I don't know. I'd have to think. They haven't done too many.
Because it's like,
Barry Windham maybe.
Because I'm like, if you're getting in as part of a team, are you really?
Because Barry Windham's in as a horseman.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like, are you really that good? Are you Hall of Fame worthy if you get in as part of a tag team? Or do you have to be an individual Hall of Fame or a group or anything like that? Or do you have to be a...
See, that's the thing with wrestling Hall of Fames versus other, sports Hall of Fames. Sports Hall of Fames, you're in as an individual.
That's true.
Yeah. It's wrestling Hall of Fames that do tag teams or factions or
I guess
whatever.
Because some people are better known as tag team wrestlers. Like
the Road Warriors.
Yeah, or the Rock and Roll Express. I wouldn't necessarily consider
Rock and Roll
them
Express as well,
individual.
The Midnight Express.
All the variations, yeah.
Yeah. So. Oh, all right. Well, let's do a little podcast magic. No radio show this week.
You caught it this week.
Yeah, because we're preempted for Longhorn basketball tomorrow night. So here we go.
This is WWE superstar Seth freaking Rollins, and you're listening to Sports Guys Talking Wrestling.
Still got that laugh.
When they're not covering the sports world, they're talking about the world of professional wrestling. It's Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. Now, with Justin Simmons, here's Stu Myrick.
It is Sports Guys Talking Wrestling, podcast only this week. No radio show because of Longhorn men's basketball. They are facing the Raging Cajuns of Louisiana.
I don't care who they're facing. It's a travesty that we are not on the show, especially right before Christmas when they know that it is a big week for us.
It's Christmas. Why is it a big week for us?
We own that week.
Christmas?
This show carries that week.
Okay, sure. Stu Myrick, Justin Smash Simmons. Quick, in a quick programming note. So we are podcast only this week. We are off next week unless something major happens. No podcast or radio show next week.
Stu's going to be bringing you like the analog version of this show in like some
No,
remote cabin,
if
like
something
Morse code. Like
if something crazy happens, I'll call Nick Hausman or Steve or Mike Sempervive or somebody. But otherwise, we will be back. Podcast and radio show. Podcast on January 3rd and the radio show on January 4th. So this is it for 2022 for us.
mm-hmm.
So
again, that's why it's a travesty. We don't even get to say goodbye to the radio people. The ones that look forward to listening to us on 104.9 The Horn each and every Wednesday night
in the late night hours. Oh,
I'm
man.
sure we entertain somebody.
Oh, yeah. There we get some listeners. I know we do because I get approached on occasion. Hey, you're the guy. Let's see. Hey, let's talk a little WWE.
And that makes it more a shame, Stu, because this is like the perfect week to talk about WWE because they had a lot going on.
They have quite a bit going on. Let's start with SmackDown on Friday. And I guess the big story was so it was being built, they were purporting it as Sami Zayn's big night. Roman was going to be there, and I guess the majority consensus was he was going to be made. He was going to become, no longer honorary. He was just going to become an Uso. And Roman was apparently, I think Roman was going to do that, but he said they had a problem. They had a KO problem.
Oh yeah.
And he ended up calling Adam Pearce into his locker room and basically said he wanted a tag match for the December 30th SmackDown, which is their next SmackDown Live, where it'd be Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn against Kevin Owens and a partner of his choosing. So they get to the main event segment. We, have the bloodline out there, and Sami is talking about how Kevin Owens only friend, used to be the friend, and yada yada. When all of a sudden, on the big Titantron, it's the man you can't see, John Cena himself. And he basically lets them know that he got a text from Kevin Owens. It set it up as John Cena has had a match every year since 2002, except this year. He has not had a match in WWE in 2022. Which, I get to think about that. I'm going, well, hold it. Didn't he have a match this summer? I don't know. Anyway, so basically what it boils down to is John Cena is going to tag up with Kevin Owens to take on Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn on the December 30th SmackDown.
Makes me almost want to watch it live.
Well, you can because it'll be live.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, like, am I really going to have time to watch it live? I might not. I think I might have to work that night.
Oh, you may be calling.
Yeah, like, it's a busy hoops
they're
weekend.
in their Davies Entertainment. I think, don't they have a boxing card?
Yeah, but it's not live.
Okay, well,
I mean, like, they're doing it in person only.
Yeah, but I mean, I think there's a card there.
They do have a card coming up. Same deal though, but yeah, it's all like I have games like on New Year's Eve, so I'm New Year's Day already, so I'm just all like,
Well, so that'll be that. They're really building up that SmackDown as a much watch. Obviously, with John Cena coming back and everything. So,
well, I've exclaimed how I feel about it. What about you, Stu? That's what
I think it'll be fun.
But does it make you want to tune in more because Cena is coming back?
Sure, a little bit. Yeah. I mean, I'd watch it anyway because we cover it. But, yeah, sure.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a big difference between me, like, watching it just to watch it and then me being excited about watching it. And with Cena coming back, I'm excited to watch it.
And
so
this is just it's a gut feeling. But I get a feeling that is going to start it's going to be the beginning of the end of Sami Zayn as a member of the Bloodline.
Nah.
I think we're going to see by the time Royal Rumble rolls around, Sami Zayn will no longer be in the Bloodline.
No way. It's the best.
It's a hunch.
It's the best storyline going. It's going to carry out.
They're going to turn on him. It's painfully obvious. They're going to turn on him.
Oh, sure, at some point, but it's going to come after WrestleMania.
I think no.
Yeah.
No, they're not going to let it go to WrestleMania.
Oh yeah.
I don't think it'll go past Royal Rumble.
Oh no, WrestleMania.
No.
Yes.
It's way too long.
No, not even.
Yeah. I think they're going
for the best storyline that they have crafted in the modern era. Yes,
I don't think it's going to. I don't think, like I said, I think we're going to see a turn Royal Rumble between Royal Rumble Elimination Chamber. I've heard the theory of because Elimination Chamber is in Montreal.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin and Sammy against the Usos for the tag titles in Montreal at Elimination Chamber.
Still not as good as it would be if like Sammy became like the head of the table.
No, they're not going to do that.
Like he would have to upend the Bloodline.
They're not. I don't think they're going to give Sammy the world title. I don't think so. I think.
I mean, I wouldn't think so.
I'm
either.
still holding. I hope it's going to be Cody. But that's more of a just a selfish. I want to see Cody win the title.
You gotta factor him in when he does return.
And I'm still thinking they're gonna split the titles on at Mania this year. I think they're gonna have Roman drop the WWE Championship to Cody on one of the nights. But that's just me, and that's a few months out.
I still don't. I still rather have a Universal Champion, and then have the two other belts, the Intercontinental and the United States title as like the main TV belts.
The problem is right now the Roman only shows up on SmackDown, and I think USA Network wants their own world champion.
Of course, but we all acknowledge him. We all know where he is.
This has nothing to do with storyline. This has to do with ratings. I would think USA Network would want a world champion on their show too. That's why you split the titles up.
Well, they do get Brock. And SmackDown doesn't.
They don't get. Actually, no. They got Brock on SmackDown last time.
Huh.
So that's what I'm saying. So we'll see. They've been doing this, for lack of a better term, slow burn on Bray Wyatt. And last Friday on SmackDown, LA Knight plays this video of him getting abducted and all this stuff.
Let me talk to you.
And so he calls out Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt comes out. LA Knight starts beating him up. And then here comes Uncle Howdy in the entryway. So we have Bray Wyatt and Uncle Howdy, and it's two different people. Of course, then it's like, okay, who's under?
Wasn't Bray Wyatt?
Who's under the Uncle Howdy mask? And we've heard everything from Bo Dallas to Vincent. There was talk around the campfire, both Vincent and who's the other? I think Dutch from the Righteous in Ring of Honor have been at WWE lately, so that's a possibility. I mean, we'll see.
There, that you're talking about Vincent as in like
no, Vincent as in Marseilla.
No, I was thinking as in like Ted DiBiase's former bodyguard. And I was like, he needs the paycheck. I get it.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, I do too, so I don't blame
him. So we'll see. I have been pretty vocal about I'm not the biggest fan of Bray Wyatt. I am slightly intrigued to see how this plays out, but we'll see. I don't know.
No, you do know. and you said it before.
No, I mean, no, we don't. I don't know.
No.
Who's under the Uncle Howdy mask? First of all,
I'm trying to give you credit here because you have said it before, and it's been in the past, referring to Bray Wyatt. It's like, okay, so we've had this really cool setup, I guess, right? People are really intrigued about everything, right? But it's like, what do they do with it afterward? And this is where we're at now. We're at the afterward,
and that's been kind of my thing. It's also been my thing of, okay, when are we going to see Bray Wyatt wrestle? Because we know he can wrestle. When are we going to see him in an actual match? Because we haven't seen that yet. So, I mean, could we see LA Knight versus Bray Wyatt sometime soon? Could we, whatever.
But you will admit, though, this is a good thing in the sense of WWE pushing another talent at the same time because they're trying to utilize this shine on Bray.
Look,
pushing LA Knight.
I think LA Knight, Eli Drake, whatever you want to call him, I think he's a fine wrestler, one of the best talkers out there.
Yeah, he's getting to show the WWE universe that.
Yeah, so
they're responding,
and I'm hoping that he continues to shine in that. So I'm more excited for him than I am for Bray Wyatt, quite honestly.
I think there's a lot of people out there that if they haven't said that, they might be thinking that.
Yeah,
because again, I mean, LA Knight, I mean, he's an awesome talent. It's a shame that this hadn't happened for him sooner.
It is a shame.
But now he's getting his chance to work against another great talker, and I'm sure we're going to get some classic promos before everything is said and done.
Oh, absolutely. We always do. We had Ricochet, the winner of the SmackDown World Cup. He got his title shot against Gunther.
Did you like how...
It was actually a good match, but in the end, Gunther did get the win.
Did you like how the WWE was using the Fox World Cup theme to promote the WWE World Cup?
Of course, because, you're on Fox. Fox has the World Cup. Congratulations to Argentina and Lionel Messi, by the way.
I felt it was a nice tie-in, though.
Sure.
Like, that was good marketing.
Sure. So Gunther gets the win. Imperium starts beating up Ricochet. Here comes Braun Strowman for the save. And so on the taped SmackDown on December 23rd, it is Braun Strowman versus Ricochet, or Braun Strowman Ricochet versus Imperium. I believe that is the Miracle on 34th Street fight.
Okay.
So
that makes sense.
And the spoilers are online if you want to look at spoilers. You can look at your favorite wrestling website.
I'll just watch it when I watch it.
So, Monday Night on Raw. This was interesting, so you started with some chaos. Bloodline was beating up people in the back, including Mustafa Ali. Then we finally get to the Street Profits taking on Finn Balor and Damian Priest from Judgment Day.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, Dominic Mysterio and Rhea Ripley are out with Balor and Priest. Akira Tozawa comes out with Street Profits. Match goes on. Match is fine. Street Profits get the win. And then Ruckus happens, and basically Rhea Ripley challenges Akira Tozawa to a match. Mm-hmm. And they have it happen. A sanctioned intergender match on Monday Night Raw. And Rhea Ripley gets the win. Now, if you watch the match, and you and I have seen intergender matches,
but this one
on the Indies.
Yeah.
We Tessa Blanchard and Brian Cage in Wrestle Circus. In fact, Tessa Blanchard had several when she was Impact World Champion. This was not one of those. Because while Rhea Ripley was striking and all the good stuff, Tozawa was putting up very little offense at all. No hits, didn't hit her face, no strikes, no elbows.
Yeah, he held back.
He hit a Hurricanrana on her, but that was it.
But he also got beat up from the outside. It's not like she did all
the
damage
I know,
by her
but
own. Nowhere close.
It felt like it was a handicap match almost.
Well, yeah, it kind of was. I mean, there was a lot of outside interference.
And so I'm kind of going, why did they have the match in the first place? It didn't advance the storyline. It didn't advance any storyline for that matter.
No, but we're sitting here talking about it. That's exactly why they did it.
But
because there's been a lot of rumors about them actually having a full intergender matchup like this, and it be like an actual built-up storyline and all that good stuff.
Yeah,
and
but
Xavier
I don't know.
Woods is one of those guys that keeps on pushing for that.
But it's not going to be a full-blown, like, even match because they don't want WWE does not want the image of a man hitting a woman to, be frowned on by advertisers, by USA Network.
Well, yeah, and that's why you didn't see that happen.
Well, that's the thing. It's so it's unlike what we have seen on the indies or whatever, because they go at it full bore, So, like I said, again, I don't get.
It was a test run at the end of the year.
I don't think if it was, I'm not sure it was a passing grade, quite honestly. Again, it did nothing for the story. And if anything, it made Tozawa look weak. I mean, yeah, we know he's kind of a jobber anyway, but I don't know. I was not impressed with it. But
I mean, I was all right with it. I was surprised that they.
Yeah,
I was excited. I was excited that they tried to do something similar, something new.
Yeah,
that they were testing it out. Like, oh, that rumor is starting to become more of a reality. Now they might not go back to it. Maybe that's as deep as they go to test those waters.
Yeah, maybe.
But it did give us something to talk about, and it definitely piqued my interest a little bit because I'm like, oh, wow, they're actually wrestling. And it's believable because she is as big as she is going against Tozawa, who is essentially a cruiserweight.
Well, and that did help the fact that they were
similar size.
Similar size.
No, there's no shame in that. She works out. She's in phenomenal shape.
I heard something that she's like only 5'7".
Yeah, but Tozawa's not like 6'2".
I know, but the way she looks on TV, she looks taller.
Yeah, the boots help, but I mean, like, I'm only 5'7", Stu, so that's telling me that she's bigger than me, probably. Yeah. So I mean, it's totally believable to me. I mean,
I'm 5'11". I'm no like giant, but I just thought she was taller. I don't know.
But then again, look at Rey Mysterio. You got that photo right there.
Yeah.
So I was just like, size doesn't really matter all that much. It was believable. I guess it really depends on who she works with. As long as she's not taking on.
And I think that's going to be the key. It's going to be they've got to be careful about who they pair, who they pair together. So.
Well, actually, the biggest deal here, Stu, would be where does she sit when it comes to the women's division of the WWE? Because if she's wrestling men, shouldn't she be in the title hunt? She shouldn't be on the outside looking in.
I've heard a lot of folks say that she should be next in line to take the title from Bianca.
She's obviously very popular too.
Yeah. So
I see the social media about her. That's why she's been using that whole daddy thing, because they've been doing that on social media, and it just kind of caught up, and everybody kind of bought into it. And now she's using it on screen, and it's just like, okay, everybody's behind it.
We had a return. So we had the ladder match between Dexter Lumis and The Miz. Winner gets all the money. And Dexter Lumis was
what money?
On the verge. It's a whole story. I'm not going to try to go through the
Isn't
whole
it
thing.
Miz's money, because it was like the money?
Well, it was actually the money Miz owed Dexter, and then Miz put out some of his own, and it's just the whole thing. But the bottom line was Dexter Lumis is about ready to get it, and all of a sudden here comes Bronson Reed, formerly of NXT. Formerly Jonah from New Japan Pro Wrestling.
See, you seem way more excited about this than I do.
I was intrigued. Now I know that he's had a really good run in New Japan.
I've heard that he's been like a legit monster in Japan.
Yeah,
like he's leading a faction.
I don't know if he was leading a faction, but he was definitely popular there. And I know his deal was coming up, and New Japan made him an offer. WWE made him an offer. This was another one of Triple H's. I want this guy back in the fold. Remember him from his days in NXT. And he sided with trips. So Bronson Reed back in WWE as of right now. He is the heavy for The Miz. I hope they have something more planned for him, and I would suspect they do. We'll see. I mean, it's his first week, so we'll see what happens. But, yeah, Bronson Reed back in WWE, and he's going to tear it up. So we'll see what happens. We do have so right now, as of right now, the SmackDown this Friday is taped already. And again, if you want to see the spoilers, look up your favorite wrestling website. Next Monday's Raw is going to be a best of 2022 show, so clips. So the next live WWE action will be SmackDown on December 30th. We mentioned Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn taking on Kevin Owens and John Cena. And then Monday, January 2nd, will be the next live Monday Night Raw, the first Raw of 2023. We have 2 title matches set for that Raw. You got Austin Theory defending the United States Championship against Seth freaking Rollins. And you got Bianca Belair defending the Raw Women's Championship against Alexa Bliss. We had the segment this past Monday on Raw, or last night, I should say. Alexa and Bianca sitting down with Byron Saxton, and they're going over what was going on with the, what happened with Alexa almost hitting Sister Abigail and all that, and Alexa chronicles how, Bray Wyatt controlled her, all this good stuff, which there was a little bit of revisionist history, but well. And basically said, look, I like you, but, I want the title. And they were going to end it like that. Well, they got this monitor behind Byron's head. It flashes the Bray Wyatt symbol. And as they stand up, Alexa Bliss smashes this vase on Bianca's head. So, and all I can say is, good God, here we go again with stupid Alexa Bliss connected to.
See, this is where we disagree.
I know it's
great.
where we disagree.
This is great.
You think it's great.
Yes.
I think it's stupid.
I was intrigued. It was a good promo.
I'm not intrigued. It's like I don't want to see. Now, look, and there are interviews out there where Alexa Bliss talks how much fun she had working with Bray Wyatt. And so I guess that's kind of like, all right, fine, whatever. That's just a section I'm just not going to pay attention to or whatever.
I don't know. You're going to have to. I'm pretty sure she might win the title.
It's possible. It's possible. Anyway, so
or
that title match will happen on Raw.
Or are you thinking that Charlotte will be in the title hunt as soon as she comes back?
We don't know. I don't know when Charlotte's coming back.
It's pretty soon.
They've been saying that for 3 months.
I know, but it's Royal Rumble, WrestleMania season. I'm pretty sure she to collect the
I
paycheck.
guess it's possible, but
everybody wants the WrestleMania paycheck.
So anyway, those 2 title matches set for Monday Night Raw on January 2nd. So, one other note: Kylie Ray, who we've known from the Indies and from AEW and Impact Wrestling and the NWA. She debuted on recent WWE main event tapings as Brianna Ray.
Oh, okay.
Lost a match to Dana Brooke, but apparently she got her match, and who knows, may get signed. So congratulations to the former Kylie Ray, and hope she finds her happiness in WWE. Her challenges have been well chronicled, so we shall see. But yeah, as you said at the beginning, a lot of goings on in the WWE, and we will see what happens. By the way, there's our good friend Justin Barrasso from Sports Illustrated. We talked last week about the Wall Street Journal report on Vince McMahon, and in that article mentioned Vince wants to make a comeback, wants to get wants to be back in WWE. Well, Justin Barrasso had this great article, basically detailing what everybody thinks, that Vince McMahon back in WWE would be a really bad idea. And so I'll just point you to SI.com. Check the article out. He points out some great stuff. Everything from stock prices, ratings, the fact that WWE is coming up on renewing their TV rights deals with Fox and NBC Universal. There's a lot of points there. Not to mention everything with Wall Street and the SEC, not the Southeastern Conference, and everything that would point as to why Vince should not and probably won't be back. So I'll just point you to that. So we're going to take a quick time out. When we come back, we're going to switch gears and talk AEW, including that dastardly MJF kicking the yam bag to keep his title. That's coming up next on Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. It's Briggs and Jensen and, what's her name? Fallon Henry. I love the Bam Bam Gordy t-shirt, by the way. Jensen wearing Terry Bam Bam Gordy. God rest his soul. By the way, I was thinking about this because I was looking up. There is actually an independent wrestling card on Christmas night from Metroplex Wrestling. We'll talk about that here in a bit. So way back in the day, World Class would do Christmas Star Wars.
Yeah. At
Reunion Arena in Dallas. And I believe I've got this right. It was Christmas Star Wars in 82. Kerry Von Erich, Ric Flair in a cage for the NWA World title. Michael Hayes was like the enforcer. At that time, Michael Hayes was a babyface, but he had just brought in Terry Gordy and Buddy Jack Roberts. And there was ruckus. He hits Flair, wants Kerry to pin him, and Kerry's not going to take the dirty victory. And Hayes leaves the cage. Flair shoves Kerry. Kerry hits, I think it was Hayes, knocks Hayes off the apron. Hayes gets up, slams the cage door into Kerry's head. Ric Flair gets the win, and that started the absolutely historic Von Erich's Freebird feud.
Wasn't it Gordy who slams the cage?
I think it may have been Gordy, yeah. But
yes, Hayes does.
And I think it was Christmas Star Wars.
That sounds right, though.
40 years ago.
Yeah, man. There's been a long time since then.
Oh man.
Just
That's
a
crazy.
few years have passed. That's all.
Well, now we got their kids.
Shoot, they're getting
wrestling.
a movie.
You got Ross and Marshall wrestling in Major League Wrestling. You got Miranda Gordy active on the Indies.
I mean, you're getting a Von Erich movie.
We're getting the Von Erich movie with MJF playing Lance, which
everybody's favorite Von Erich.
That's funny. So yeah, crazy. So all right, let's do segment number 2. YouTube, Twitch, gotta mute you, but we'll be right back. Back here on Sports Guys Talking Wrestling, Stu Myrick, Justin the Smash Simmons. Switching gears to All Elite Wrestling. This past Wednesday, Winter is Coming in Garland, up in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. had MJF defending the AEW World title against Absolute Ricky Starks. And I was 96% sure MJF was going to retain. But, you had that little bit of doubt, especially after that promo that he had, that Ricky had the previous week here in Austin. Hey, there was a little bit.
No doubt, great promo, but we all know that belt wasn't
That's
changing
why
hands.
I said it was 96%. Sure enough, Ricky is having his comeback. He's on the verge. Referee distraction, and then MJF just boots him in the ding-ding. He falls down. Max gets the pin. He retains.
Right in the jewels.
And then in the yam bag, as Taz likes to call it.
Oh, I was thinking of Weird Science.
And then as Max is heading up the ramp with the title, here comes the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. And so it looks like it's going to be Danielson be the next challenger. I'm kind of hoping they hold that one until Revolution in March in San Francisco. I don't know. I mean, I believe they're going to have Bryan Danielson on Dynamite this week in San Antonio. So you're talking about 2.5 months between now and Revolution. We'll see. They may have that match sooner, but we'll see what happens.
You need to, though. You need to have it as soon as possible, because with a guy like Danielson, you just don't know how long you get. So you might as well just make it happen. Hit it while it's hot.
I don't know. We'll see.
Well, who else would you want to see him face before that?
That's the thing. I think you have him. Max, at least in his promo, said he's not going to wrestle unless it's for a pay-per-view or big money or whatever, which you could conceivably give him the Brock Lesnar treatment, have him wrestle, just a couple times here and there. Maybe have some, random title defense between now and March, and then have him face Danielson in San Francisco. We'll see. I don't know what they'll do with it, but it'll be interesting to watch. We've got this best of 7 series between the Elite and Death Triangle. Death Triangle up 3-1. Kenny Omega at the end of their loss said, "Okay, no more playing games. We're putting stipulations on the next 3 matches." So, match number 5, which happens tomorrow night in San Antonio, will be no disqualification.
Are you going?
No. Match number 6, if necessary, in, I believe it's Colorado, will be a Falls Count Anywhere match. And then if it gets to a match number 7, January 11th, it will be a ladder match, or what I see, Escalera de la Muerte. So, I still think the Elite are going to win the trios titles. So, you would think it's going to go 7 matches.
Mm-hmm. Especially since they have it all planned out already.
Obviously, there is no match on January 4th because Kenny Omega is going to be at New Japan Pro Wrestling at Wrestle Kingdom, and we'll go over that card later. So next 2 weeks, and then January 11th for match number 7 coming up. So Chris Jericho, coming off the loss to Claudio Castagnoli at Final Battle, losing the Ring of Honor World title, he was going to restart. He's going to take his frustrations out on somebody. So he gets this guy named Action Andretti out of Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
And you're thinking, okay, here we go. It's going to be a jobber, and Jericho's going to play with him. Well, not quite. Match goes on, and, Chris does get some near falls, but Andretti keeps escaping, and he ends up winning.
Yeah.
He defeated Chris Jericho. And soon thereafter, Tony Khan signs Action Andretti to a contract. So Action Andretti is all elite. So congratulations to Action Andretti. We'll see what Chris does this week in San Antonio. Should be interesting. Did you see where because Daniel Garcia lost the Pure title, he has now put him under Sammy Guevara's wing?
Yeah, I heard about that.
If it felt like that when he did that, it felt like, so we're gonna tease a Daniel Garcia breakup again.
Mm-hmm.
We've already done this once with him and Danielson. Now we're going to do it again with him and Guevara?
Yes, because you want to see the two wrestle against each other.
Okay, sure. Yeah, that was...
But you want the match, though, right?
Sure, yeah. Guevara and Garcia, sure. I think it'd be a fantastic match, so should be fun. We did see a couple of Texas talents get some shine this week, or the last couple of weeks. Exodus Prime, who we know in Inspire After Death, as well as, he wrestles a lot in the Dallas-Fort Worth area for DFWL Pro, for Metroplex Wrestling. I believe he wrestles for Texoma Pro. He was on AEW Rampage, but he had to face Wardlow. Wardlow hit the Powerbomb Symphony on him, and there was one of the Powerbombs where he powerbombs Exodus Prime. Exodus Prime ends up on the top of his head, standing straight up before falling over. It was cool looking. So, but hey, still he got some time on TV, and so we're happy for Exodus Prime. I think
national TV.
I believe we will see him January 12th at Inspire's next event. So, but yeah, good on Exodus Prime. And then the main event on Rampage, the Butcher, the Blade, Kip Sabian, and Tret 7 taking on the All-Atlantic champion Orange Cassidy, the Best Friends, and our guy, the one and only, the natural, Dustin Rhodes. Fun main event. The interaction with him and Danhausen was it made me so happy. And in the end, of course, Dustin hits the Bulldog on Trent 7, gets the pin. They did start out, it was Trent Beretta versus Trent 7. So you had the crowd chanting Trent.
Yeah.
But it was a fun match. Great stuff. And, as always, great to see Dustin doing his thing in the ring. We did mention a week or two ago about him announcing 2023 is his final year in the ring. So, I'm sure we will see him a few more times before he decides to go strictly to coaching. So, but yeah, good stuff from Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends and Dustin. And then usually don't talk about these, but this one was interesting enough. So Wrestling Observer, among others, I think Dave Meltzer mentioned this in the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter. We let you know that AEW's hired Michael Mansouri, who was the former WWE Vice President of Global TV and Production. So they've hired him basically almost the same position in AEW. And apparently, I think people are saying as a result of this, we are going to see a new look to AEW Dynamite starting in January.
More cutaways?
It's supposed to be the way it's, the staging, The intros, they were shooting stuff for intros here lately. Maybe even new theme music. Supposed to have a new look. I would suspect it's going to be the same for at least Rampage as well. But apparently we're going to see a new look to Dynamite. So
Is that needed already?
well, they've had the same look for 3 years. So maybe it's time. Who knows? We'll see. It depends on what the new look looks like.
Well, I mean,
too.
you catch it more often than I do. I really just kind of watch it for main points. I don't sit there and watch an entire AEW show.
I mean, I like the theme. They've had to change the intro, with folks out of AEW and such. I mean, I think it's a wait and see type of deal on it. So we'll see. By the way, we talked last week, from when Tony Khan talked to us after Final Battle, mentioned about they've restarted Honor Club. And he did imply that we would hear something about a weekly series after Wrestle Kingdom. And it was almost as if he was implying that there's going to be a connection between Ring of Honor and New Japan Pro Wrestling. And there was a relationship with them back in the day. That relationship apparently is being renewed. So I guess we will see what happens coming out of Wrestle Kingdom. One of the rumors I've heard is Ring of Honor Weekly would end up on NJPW World, which I think that's kind of weird, to say the very least. But that's just a rumor. I haven't seen anything to say that, to, confirm that. So just wait and see. So I suspect we'll get a lot of clarity coming out of Wrestle Kingdom. We're going to take a quick break. Speaking of Wrestle Kingdom, when we come back, besides letting you know what's happening in independent wrestling, we will run down the full card for Wrestle Kingdom 17. Coming up next on Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. Meanwhile, we got the New Day against Briggs and Jensen defending the tag titles.
And it has not been it's been a sloppy match.
I would imagine.
Yeah, Briggs and I don't know which one's in the ring. He's having trouble keeping up.
I think that's
here.
Jensen.
He's having trouble keeping up right now.
I would think so. I mean, you're in there against a couple of, two of the best ever with Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston.
But his mouth did look like he bit his face pretty good, so I wonder if that's real blood or that's fake blood.
I don't know.
Nah, you saw his face was like his mouth was all red.
Whose face?
The one that tagged out.
Oh, Jensen?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible.
But this has looked impressive, though.
Well, I think Briggs might be the more experienced of the two.
Okay. Ooh, that looked like it hurt.
Yeah, it did look like it hurt, didn't it?
Yeah, because he caught him on the side of the head.
Yeah. Bouncing off the ropes.
But to be strong enough to throw somebody off of the rope for it to, bounce, it wouldn't catapult you like the way it was unless you did it with some real force. Oh.
Kofi going for Trouble in Paradise. Boot.
Damn, that was a nice move.
Stack up to kick out. Oh, yeah. Looks like, Jensen's got a little bit of blood. Probably bit his lip or something.
Yeah, it looks like it's deep, though. It's bleeding a lot.
Nah, it's not bleeding that much.
Nah, dude. It's apparent from back here on the small little square. That's a lot. It's like he might need stitches. I mean, he should finish this match. But you can see it right here on his mouth, even from here. Like, you can tell it's like redder than normal.
All right, they got him on the second turnbuckle. Briggs and Jensen go up. Oh, Jensen gets distracted with Xavier. Briggs and Kofi. Kofi slips out. Forearm to Jensen. Catches the boot from Briggs. Briggs looks like he wants... No, he's going to go up top. Looks like he might hit a moonsault. Ooh. Got him. Hook's leg. 1, 2. Kick out.
It's a big dude doing a moonsault.
Yeah.
Like a big, tall, lanky dude.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's tall, lanky. It's not... I mean, we've seen Keith Lee do one. He's just big.
But this guy's just really tall.
This guy's lanky.
So for him to clear that was really impressive.
It was good. It was a good looking move.
Yeah, and it was smooth, too.
It was. So...
Yeah, he definitely looks like he's the more talented of the two.
I think you may be right.
But he might be also the more experienced, I guess.
Has Kofi up.
Ooh.
Woods shoves him.
Oh, wow. Poison Rana.
And Trouble in Paradise. Tag. Here comes Woods.
You make it look
Kofi
so
lands
easy.
on Jensen. Oh, man. And hits the elbow, hooks leg. 1, 2, 3. And still.
Has that always been his finish?
He's gone through a couple finishers.
Right?
Yeah.
This was like a tightrope walking.
But yeah, he
elbow.
walked the rope and then hit the elbow. So
does that make it
good
more
stuff
powerful than a regular elbow drop?
Good stuff from New Day. So yeah. All right, let's do this last segment. Back here on Sports Guys Talking Wrestling, just saw the New Day defend the NXT tag titles against Briggs and Jensen. Good match. I think you could see the difference between Briggs and Jensen. Nevertheless, New Day looking like they always do.
Who are those
they're
chicks?
Fantastic. So apparently Jensen has a crush on one of them. I forget which one.
Because he kept on showing them throughout the match.
Yeah, they were sitting in the crowd. It was Kiana James, I think, is one of them. I forget who the other one is.
I'm like, wow, they're so important
her
that they're taking time away from the New Day.
Hey, you know. Meanwhile, Stax is talking to Dijak through his door.
Is this
He's
new?
going to go in and talk to Dijak, Donovan Dijak.
How long has Dijak been back?
A couple weeks, 2-3 weeks.
And he's going by his actual name, huh?
Yeah, they're actually using his last name. It's just Dijak. They're not saying.
Well,
Donovan.
I thought his actual last name was Dijakovic.
I thought
and
it was
then the
Dijak.
wrestling name was just Dijak.
Anyway, yeah. Anyway,
because he's Croatian, right?
as we mentioned, we have one card coming up this weekend that we're going to tell you about. It is Metroplex Wrestling presents a very Mikey B Christmas Sunday, Christmas night, or Christmas afternoon, I should say, at the MPX Event Center in Bedford. Bell time, 5 p.m. Central. All your favorite MPX stars, I would assume, including Mikey B, will be there. That is Metroplex Wrestling Christmas afternoon in Bedford. And that's a look at independent wrestling around the area. Wherever you may be, go out and support independent wrestling. In fact, we were talking during the break. So, way back in the day, World Class Championship Wrestling would do Christmas Star Wars at Reunion Arena.
Last time you said how many years it was.
Well, the one I remember, 1982. So this would be 40 years ago.
There you go.
It was, the main event was Kerry Von Erich challenging Ric Flair for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship in a steel cage. Michael Hayes, who was a babyface at the time, was like a guest enforcer in the cage. Mm-hmm. And they're going back and forth, and Hayes is getting a little out of hand with his enforcing, and he ends up punching Flair, and he wants Kerry to pin him. Kerry doesn't want to win the title that way. And Hayes says, forget you, and turns his back. He's going to hit out of the cage. Well, Flair shoves Kerry, which knocks Hayes off the apron. Terry Bam Bam Gordy takes the cage door, slams it on Kerry's head. Kerry falls, Rick pins him, keeps the world title. But more importantly, that was the start of the feud between the Von Erichs and the Freebirds that has lasted years and years and years and years. So, can't believe that's 40 years ago.
Yeah, man.
Jeez, I'm old.
It's just one of those things.
Because I remember when it happened. Now we get to the supercards of today, and that includes New Japan Pro Wrestling. They always end up with the first supercard of the year. This year, no different. Wrestle Kingdom17 from the Tokyo Dome in Tokyo, Japan. If you want to tune in to NJPW World, you can tune in starting at 1:30 a.m. Eastern, 12:30 a.m. Central. Kevin Kelly and the crew will have the English commentary on NJPW World.
So what time would that show end around American time?
That thing, see, they run, so it would not surprise me in the slightest that card would run until at least 5:30 a.m. Central.
Nice.
Because it is a long card. And they've got several matches on this one. The main event, the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, Switchblade Jay White, taking on the G1 Climax winner, Kazuchika Okada, for that title. I got betting odds from our friends at Bet Online. Mm-hmm. And the betting odds, at least right now, show Okada as the odds favorite to win.
Makes sense.
So
I want to see it. I'm not a huge Jay White as champion fan. That's just me, though.
I don't. They've had him keep the title longer this time, but it feels like New Japan wants to get back to aggressively, putting themselves into the U.S. market and Europe. And I guess maybe they feel it would be better with Okada as their top champion. So we'll see.
Definitely the more noticeable name.
Yeah, we'll see. For the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship, Will Ospreay will challenge none other than AEW's Kenny Omega from the Elite. As I mentioned, that's why there's no trios match on January 4th for Dynamite, because Kenny Omega will be recovering from fighting Will Ospreay. That's been a rivalry that's been building for quite a few months, going back before Forbidden Door back in June. And so get to see those two in action. In a fatal four-way for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, Taiji Ishimori defends against Hiromu Takahashi, El Desperado, and Master Wato. That'll be a good one. As part of the Great Muta's last match, or Great Muta's last stand, whatever you want to call it, Keiji Muto will team up with Hiroshi Tanahashi and Shota Umino, or as John Moxley calls him, Shooter. And they will face Tetsuya Naito, Sonata, and Bushi from LIJ.
Dang.
That'll be a good one.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of sad to see like Naito.
Muto's last, one of his last matches.
Yeah, but I'm sad to see that Naito is like nowhere near the title picture.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting.
And like he never got like a proper run.
Yeah, and I sadly haven't followed New Japan lately enough to figure out why, but
I mean, just the fact that it never happened.
Yeah.
Like the way it should have.
Carl Anderson, still your never openweight champion, as well as one half of the, part of the OC in WWE. He will defend that never openweight title against Tama Tonga, his former Bullet Club brother. That'll be a fun one. Ren Narita taking on Zack Sabre Jr. to crown a new NJPW World TV Champion. They don't need another title.
I didn't know they had a TV champion.
They've had this tournament, and so I guess the finals are going to be at Wrestle Kingdom between Narita and Sabre. FTR will defend the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team titles against the World Tag League champions Yoshihashi and Hiroki Goto. You also got Yo and Leo Rush, the Junior Tag League champions, challenging TJP and Francesco Akira for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team titles.
Okay, so it's like Leo Rush back? Is this like a one-time deal?
Apparently he's at least back in New Japan. He comes in and out. And he comes in and out different spots. Like he's in MLW, and he's in NWA. Now he's in New Japan. And so Kairi defending the IWGP Women's Championship against Tom Nakano. And if you believe the talk around the campfire, this could lead to an appearance by the former Sasha Banks.
Oh, yeah.
Mercedes Varnado, Mercedes Moné, whatever you want to call her. But apparently it's supposed to happen. We'll see.
Does that make this...
Which could lead to Sasha competing in Stardom or whatever, but
I mean,
nevertheless.
Does that make it more exciting for you? It's like I like Sasha Banks or whatever she's going to be called now. It's just
I think it makes it more intriguing. Just because I want to see what she looks like.
Oh, I'm sure there wouldn't be too much of an overhaul of her basic character presentation as it is now.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure she'll still have the big rings. I'm pretty sure she'll still have the same or similar moveset and or mannerisms.
Could be. Let's see, and then finally,
look at this, Stu. He did the Bret Hart thing.
I had the plate in the thing. Yes, that's why you had it zipped down. Apparently, he's still hurting a little bit. Pulling a page from Bret Hart and Goldberg.
How funny, considering that he has that Goldberg-like tattoo.
Yeah. And then in an Antonio Inoki Memorial 6-man tag team match, Yuji Nagata, Satoshi Kojima, and Toji Makabe taking on Tiger Mask, Minoru Suzuki, and Tatsumi Fujinami.
Still wanting to go, huh?
I mean, the combined age in that match. There is more wrestling experience in that match than the entire card combined.
Which tiger mask is this?
That's a good question. It did not I'm getting this straight from New Japan's website. It did not specify which tiger mask.
Well, obviously, he can't be 2 because he's no longer with us.
Well, there's been quite a few to don that mask, including someone we used to know pretty well, ACH. So we'll see, but still,
are they going to bring Sayama? I was like considering who's also wrestling because that would be crazy to see.
Maybe. Anyway, that's Wrestle Kingdom 17. Wednesday, January 4th, 1:30 a.m. Eastern, 12:30 a.m. Central on New Japan on NJPW World. New Year's Dash will be the next day. Both of those English commentary with our good friend Kevin Kelly on the call. And that'll do it for this week's Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. You can follow Justin Smash Simmons on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at The Smash Simmons. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Stu Myrick. That's STEWMYRICK. By the way, quick programming note. We are off next week. No radio show, no podcast. And then so we will be back on January 3rd on YouTube and Twitch, January 4th on the Horn. So plan your listening accordingly. You can follow the show on Twitter and Twitch at SGTWATX. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. We live stream on YouTube and Twitch most Tuesday nights, 7:30 p.m. Central. You can catch us Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Central on the flagship radio station for the University of Texas Athletics and your radio home in Austin for the Dallas Cowboys. We are the Horn, 104.9, 101.9 FM, and AM 1260. Or you can catch us anytime on demand by either going to hornfm.com and click on the On-Air tab, or by subscribing to us on your favorite podcast provider. Make sure you rate and review us while you're there. For Justin, I'm Stu. Thank you so much for giving us a little bit of your time. Have a wonderful Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, happy holiday season, happy New Year.
Don't forget Festivus.
And Festivus.
For the rest of us.
And we will see you at the matches.
Goodbye and good night. Bang!
And there we go. And now we got, it's True Lies.
Yeah, it's Guys for Guys Who Like Movies USA style.
Yeah.
Apparently tonight, right? Although
Arnold Schwarzenegger, Tom Arnold.
I do like True Lies though.
Jamie Lee Curtis. That was a good movie. That
like,
was a fun movie. Yes,
it was like the first rated R movie I ever remember seeing, besides Courage Under Fire.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I don't know why we saw Courage Under Fire, but I think it was in the movie theater.
I think my first rated R movie was Caddyshack.
Caddyshack, nice. It's a good one. Then again,
it's classic.
I mean, rating system was much different then too.
Yeah.
You guys barely had like PG-13.
We didn't have PG-13 then.
Oh, there you go. See, it's like barely.
It was just PG or R. First movie I ever saw in a theater was Smokey and the Bandit.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah, I did get to see the original Star Wars in the movie theater. In fact, I've seen all 9 of the Star Wars movies. Well, I guess 11, 12? Solo, Rogue One.
I wouldn't even know, man. You're talking to the wrong person.
Well, I've seen, at least the 11, chapters 1 through 9, and then Rogue 11 and Solo. I've seen them in the theater. So. Oh, man. All right. Well, we are going to sign off for now. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for watching. Again, as I said, I hope everyone has a wonderful holiday season. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Festivus for the rest of us. Happy New Year. We will see you in 2023, but for now, for Stu. For Stu. I am Stu. I almost pulled a name in Peyton. For Justin, I'm Stu. Thanks so much. And so long, everybody.